If you keep on saying yes when you mean no, you are going to love this video because I'm going to share with you how you actually sabotage yourself every time you say yes when you mean no, why this is happening, and how you can get out of this pattern and be more honest with yourself and with others and feel like you're no longer burning yourself out.
I can't do it anymore.
My client has been dealing with this issue for a long time, and he keeps on arriving late at meetings. He never has time for himself, and he really felt many times like he was burning out because he say yes to that person and then yes to that other person and yes to that other person, and he just, you die from this literally. But before I reveal to you all of this, let's make the fire. First of all, you need to understand that you say yes when you mean no because you don't want to disappoint this other person, right? And that's why you say yes. If you wouldn't care about disappointing that person, well, you would be more yourself, right? But you care. And the reason why you care is because deep down, if you disappoint this person, you think that this person will reject you, or maybe will withdraw the approval, right? Withdraw the love. So that's why you're denying yourself, because that's a self-rejection in that moment when you say yes, when you mean no. But you don't realize it because there is this fear of abandonment. Let me check the fire if it's not going on me. I've made a big fire today. And I'm actually not going to do anything about it. It's just to, sit next to the fire and then that's it. And so my client basically was experiencing this pattern, and he didn't know why it was actually happening. Like, he was aware that he was lying to himself, but at the same time, he was continuously doing the same thing, saying yes when he means no. And there's this one experience that really, put him on the spot, right? One of his friends asked him, hey, do you want to go to a salsa class? And he was thinking about it because he had a birthday party the same night. So he was like, how can I do the salsa class and the birthday party, right? That was his thinking. But deep down, he didn't even feel to go to this salsa class, right? His body was like, no, I want to rest, I want to go to this birthday party and that's it. But because he didn't meet this friend for a long time, he was hesitating. He was like, if I say no right now, this person is going to be mad at me, and then I'm going to have to deal with the whole drama and all of this. But the truth is, he doesn't know if this person is going to react bad. Maybe the person is going to be totally fine with it, like no problem, But in his subconscious mind, he doesn't see it that way. He sees it as like, well, if I'm saying no to this, it's going to be a big clash. And that's because in his childhood, if he would express his truth, which sometimes means, no, I don't want to do this, well, it was not going really well for him, right? And that created a trauma in his mind. And this led him to develop this defense mechanism of saying yes when he means no. Because at the time, when he was doing that, well, it was keeping the peace in the apartment, in the room, right? Between him and his parents. So it was better to lie, to hide his true intentions, than to, be himself. Because being himself was not being accepted at the time. And this is really the root cause of being a nice guy, right? Saying yes when you mean no. In childhood, being yourself was not accepted. You dealt with parents that were neglecting you especially, that didn't care about your opinions, or they were hearing your opinion, but then they just didn't give a fuck, right? They were rejecting you. And so, it happens one time, then 2 times, then 3 times, and, countless of times. And over time, you kind of give up, Like, you've tried to be yourself and it didn't work out. So the only option is, well, let me hide, let me lie, let me pretend to be someone that I'm not. Let me say yes when I mean no, right? The problem is, you're still in that pattern even though your life has changed right now. You're not the same person, right? You live a different life. And because it's still anchored in your subconscious, you still act this way, thinking that it's the right thing to do. But it's not. And that's why you feel like you're lying to yourself. That's why you feel like there's a big potential in you, but it's unlocked, right? Waiting to be locked. And so my proposition to you, if you want to really get yourself out of this pattern, is to first be really honest with yourself. You are lying to yourself when you say yes when you mean no. Because I know some of you still don't want to admit that you're being too nice. Like, you rationalize the whole thing, saying, oh yeah, but it's normal to be nice. People should be polite. People shouldn't express themselves this way, because then it creates conflict and blah, blah, blah. But you're scared of conflict. That's the whole point. You're scared of being rejected. That's the whole point. So first, radical self-responsibility. When you've done that, you want to identify the root cause that led you to have this belief in the first place. Because it doesn't matter how much action you take, right? Oh, I'm gonna say yes to myself now, right? And if it means that I need to say no, I will do it. Maybe you do it one time, but then the second time you will hesitate and then you will come back to your old self. I'm sure it happened, right? So you cannot take conscious actions that lead you to become confident and everything if you have a subconscious issue, which is deeply rooted, right? That's because you need to first address the root, right? When you've done that, so you basically use inner work, of course. I was not even going to mention it because it's so obvious in my head, but I forgot that maybe some of you don't even know me. So I need to tell you need to do inner work here. I teach parts work. It's very powerful because it's almost like you're doing, I don't know how to say that in English, but like the people that cut you open and remove some stuff or add some stuff. I forgot the name. My bad, I'm not English. So it's kind of like this, you identify where the problem is, where does it come from, and then second step is to rewire the limiting belief, right? Because it's one thing to become aware of where it comes from, and that's a great insight. You understand more yourself, you realize why you're acting this way, but it might not change everything. That's because when you realize where the pattern is coming from, you have to rewrite the limiting belief, right? And then the third step is to start taking aligned action. So yes, there is a part of taking action, but it's after doing the internal work. If you do it before doing the internal work, you're gonna keep on shooting yourself in the foot, and that's just not a good idea. So when this is done, and you start taking aligned actions, you will see that you will be like in the in-between. Sometime you honoring yourself, sometime you're lying to yourself. And that's part of the healing, actually, because you're learning to let go of the old version of yourself and integrating the more confident, masculine, and feeling attractive in your own skin version of yourself, right? And it takes time. It's not something that happens in one day, right? It's not like taking magic mushrooms or whatever. Like, if you want to truly rewire your brain and become a different person, it will take time, because neuroplasticity doesn't just happen like this. It happens with time, right? The more you take aligned action, the more you do internal work every time you feel a little bit triggered, the more you create new neural pathways that completely rewrite your nervous system. And this will absolutely change the game if you do it seriously. My advice to you is to have someone that is trained to help you out specifically with the internal work, the accountability, and also the whole masculinity, like taking action, facing your fears and stuff like that. Because you will need to face your fears. Part of taking the aligned actions is well, I'm gonna say no to this person even though I'm so fucking scared to do this. Like you're literally shaking, but you do it anyway, right? So you're gonna need help with this. And that's why I put up this program that I called Put Some Respect on My Name. It's a program for nice guys who want to be more confident, not just like faking it, truly embody real confidence. Stop the people pleasing, stop the avoidance, like avoiding the responsibility that it takes to be confident, to remove the overthinking, right? The self-doubt, the second guessing yourself, the feeling like, I have so much potential, but I'm not owning it, right? All of this we're going to work on together. There's a whole curriculum that you go through for 7 weeks, so it's a pretty short-term program. The price is pretty affordable actually, so if you don't have like a crazy amount of money, it's still possible for you. It's not going to be like 10,000 euros. Don't worry, it's less than €1,000 the price, and it's really combining everything that I have learned for the past 5 years as a coach and for the past decade as just a man, trying to be better. And I'm teaching inner work, masculinity training, embodiment, like learning to embody real confidence and all of this. And for those who will join, you are going to be blown away. So send me a message, nice guy, on Instagram or Facebook. I'll send you the details. If you like it, cool. If you don't like it, all good. I'm only going to welcome the people that truly feel excited about this. And if that's not for you, then it's all good. I see you, my brother.